Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. Today I wanted to talk about strength training volume. And there's been a lot of debate over the last few years and really for a number of years on what is the optimal volume on a weekly basis, I guess is how many people kind of quantify it or look at it. And when we talk about volume, we usually, with regard to strength training, talk about sets per muscle group. And so I, I, I really want to be clear on this in that really most exercise volumes work to a degree. But like any acute strength training variable, we do need to vary them. But what we typically do here, so for instance, I believe that high volume exercise does result in significant changes in muscle mass and strength, and especially in advanced trainees. And by high volume, I could mean per muscle group of, anywhere from, 8 or even 5 sets per week on up to greater than 10. So there's a large range. But I also believe that lower volume exercise may be just as beneficial, and especially in individuals that are untrained. So typically what we do here, now again, we do alter training volume and we change the training program as someone progresses. But typically what we do is we'll do 2 sets of, every exercise beginning, when they begin a strength training program, 2 sets of anywhere from, 8 to 15 repetitions, thereabouts, per exercise session. And then they come in, most individuals, most clients that we train here come in 2 days per week. So if you were to give a number to the amount of volume someone does per muscle group, it would be, I guess, roughly 4 sets per week. And then over time, we may increase the volume, okay, a little bit. But I will tell you this, that I usually err on the side of a less volume. And that is just because I think with the increase of exercise volume, we get an increase in time needed to perform the exercise program. And I'm not sure as a long-term strength training program, so a year down the road, I'm not sure that will produce any greater changes in muscle mass and strength by doing very high volume exercise, okay? But I want to be clear that strength training volume is a driver for hypertrophy and strength. Absolutely, right? Because if you don't do any exercise, if you don't do any sets per your muscle groups, you're not going to stimulate an adaptation or a change. But I think there's a point where there's a much greater chance of overtraining with high volumes, okay? So you need to periodize your training, especially with advanced trainees. And I know there's a number of advanced trainees that view these videos. And so if I was, someone had been strength training for, several years and has built my strength, I would absolutely vary your training volume over the weeks and months ahead. Okay, so you don't want to go in and do the same program from now until until you decide to quit strength training. You want to vary, and volume is one of those things that it's primarily a variable in which you want to alter the training volume. Okay, so what are some take-home messages here? For the most part, I believe starting a basic strength training program, 2 to 3 sets, 2 days per week is a great start for every major muscle group. And I gave an exercise routine yesterday. Please view that. As you progress, you will want to alter your training volume and the frequency. So I talked about going from a total body routine twice a week to doing a split routine where you have the upper day and a lower day. And that is a way where you can add more sets on a particular day, varying the frequency of exercise, okay? So, but And then if you are very, very advanced, then you may need to do a little bit more training volume. But the key is long-term progression. If you add a whole lot of strength training volume, you limit your ability to progress within each individual set. So again, I'm more of a believer on training at lower volumes to a degree, okay? So anyway, I hope that helps, but I've given you some guidelines. If you have questions, comments, leave them below. Talk to you soon.